And joining me on the call today, I've got two very exciting guests with a super exciting topic. I'd like to welcome Marissa Punchon and Ashley Al-Sadi to the call. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Today, we're going to be talking about profit first, and especially for the financial year. So talking about putting profit first this financial year. Now, I know that most people listening to this call are probably going through some sort of dilemma in relation to what the economy is doing for us right now. You know, we've been watching interest rate rises after rise after rise after rise, inflation at all-time highs, unemployment at all-time lows. The business owner is getting crunched. And when we talk about putting profit first, I think it's so critical to understand what that looks like in terms of operationally, and especially now with the new financial year, talking about what people should be thinking about. So I might turn to you first, Marissa, being a profit first consultant and also being a bookkeeper and accountant and I'm not the money coach, or how do you brand yourself?
Money coach. Yes. Yeah, money coach. Money coach. They're all in together, all morphed in together. Yes.
So tell us about this philosophy of profit first.
Well, profit first, it's quite a very basic process. And what it is you just put your profit first. So quite often when you get paid as a business owner, money comes in and then you pay all your bills and then you have what's left over. So what you do is you turn it around and money comes in, you take out a certain percentage and put that away as your profit, and then you operate on what you have left. And that's that in a nutshell.
Insanely easy, isn't it? Because it sort of replicates what Wealth Creation 101 is, which is pay yourself first, but doing it within the world of business as well.
Exactly. And in the profit first process, you actually have other accounts that you put money away for tax and for your pay as an owner and a few other things. However, when you just focus on putting that money aside and then you live with what you've got left, or run your business with what you've got left, then you actually start making a profit, which is cash, not just the bottom of a profit and loss statement.
Right. So cash is good. We all love cash. Talking about cash, I'd like to sort of just turn to Ashley, who I know is very much from the prima donna about sales and improving sales performance within a business. Why is that important, Ashley, when it comes to making profit?
Yeah, I mean, look, the prima donna, what we do, as a cold calling agency, we're generating highly qualified sales leads and sales appointments for our clients. And at the end of the day, that's because people want more cash and more profit in their business, right? So they want to be, attracting more of the right clientele.
Right.
They want to be winning more deals, increasing their revenue, but ultimately, as we're talking about, increasing their profits. So it is really critical. Your sales sales leads, and sales is the bloodline of your business. And ultimately, if we're talking about how can we increase our profits, I believe kind of the buck starts with that, right? We've got to look at how can we increase what we're bringing in to generate more.
Yeah. And I'm a big sort of I think along the same lines. I think often people think of sales as getting more business. And really, to me, sales is about differentiating your product from the alternatives. And if you do that effectively, then the price becomes secondary, not primary.
Yeah.
Especially people in a price competitive market. If you're in a market where people are looking around and looking for the best price, if you don't have the ability to show the difference between your product and the one next door, you're going to lose on price, right? And so when we talk about profit first in the next financial year, I think part of it is protecting your profit margin.
Yeah.
And just saying, look, if you guys are going to learn how to sell, I don't want you to sell more. I just want you to maintain our margins, right?
Yes.
The way to do that is get rid of the tire kickers and the price sensitive people and start educating people on value as opposed to price.
Yes, that's so true, David, because as much as I'm kind of harping on saying, oh, well, if we want to, increase our profits, we want to generate new business. I mean, definitely that's part of it. But I think what's really important for business owners these days is to also, as you said, identify how they can generate more from what they currently have, not entering into price competitions or, attracting the wrong clients that aren't going to pay premium prices. Because I think a lot of people leave money on the table, as you're saying, because they're not differentiating themselves. They don't have a great sales approach. You know, maybe they're not, just really kind of resonating with the market in the way that they should be. So they are all things they can look at to increase more profits out of what they currently have or what is currently coming at them at the moment in terms of inquiries and the like.
Yeah, yeah. And I think there's an old saying where they talk about, you know, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash flow is king. And I think too many people in business are so fixated on revenue. You know, we need more sales, we need more sales. And you go, well, do you need more sales or do you need more profit? We need both. Which is more important, sales or profit? Profit. What's your profit now? I don't know. Well, if you don't know what it is, how can we make it better, right? And I think there's a lot to be said around that. And I suppose that comes down to the third element of profit first for next financial year, is making sure there's a systematic approach to building the business. Because I think for a lot of business owners, there's a confusion between being self-employed and being a business owner. Now, you can be both, right? Because in Australia, as soon as you get an ABN, you're a business owner. But if all you're doing is a service provision, which is yours, you're self-employed. And it's okay to be self-employed, but recognize that if you don't work, you don't get paid. Now, if we talk about profit, profit is what's left over after paying wages. If I'm self-employed and I'm not paying myself the right wage, which is commensurate with what I'm worth, then the profit that I have is not real profit. It's just poor wages. And I've seen too many people that go, oh, no, we made $50,000 of profit last year. I go, great. And is that on top of your wage? And you go, what do you mean wage? I'm the business owner. You go, you made $50,000 last year as a business owner. You might be better off shutting the doors and getting a job. But this is the reality check. So I think when people don't really distinguish between profit and wages in a small business, what they're doing is they're robbing themselves. Okay. And so when we talk about profit first next financial year, I think part of it is about creating a budget for profit. I think part of it is about understanding the difference between profit and wages. And I think the other part of it is what you talked about, Ashley, is making sure we're optimizing for profitability, not for revenue.
Absolutely.
So look, today's really just about understanding this whole idea of profit first and how people should be implementing it for this financial year that's coming up. And I know for most people, the end of the financial year is a great time for planning, right? And the reason is because most accountants will say, we need a budget for next year. We need to know what you're going to do next year. And people go, oh, just take last year and add 10% or take off 10%, depending on the economy, right? But the budgeting cycle is an important point in time to make some distinctions about how we do things differently. Because the old definition of insanity is just do the same thing and expect to grow, right? Where the truth of the matter is the opportunity to rethink how can we do it better next year? How can we become more profitable next year is key. It probably leads me on to the next piece of the conversation, which is the event that we're going to be running. So can we just get a bit of a sense of what you're going to be covering at that event? Maybe we'll start with you, Marissa.
Okay. So I will be showing you how to put profit first, and for that profit not just to be a line at the end of your profit and loss statement or income statement, but actual cash in the bank. And what I will also reiterate, and just segueing a little bit with something you said, David, is you don't have to take one big, huge step. You don't have to make huge changes 1st of July. It's just an accumulation of lots of really small steps heading in the right direction that will get you to what you're doing. Then you will actually get to where you want to go, as opposed to feeling as though you've got to take this massive leap.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. And from you, Ashley, let's talk a bit about what you're going to be covering on the day.
Yeah. So look, from a sales perspective, I mean, first and foremost, I'll be definitely speaking to audience members about who their ideal client is, because this is one of the things when I talk about, generating more sales and especially generating greater profit, we want to attract the right kind of clients to our business, those that will actually value us and pay a premium price. So we're not going to look at, not only at, really clearly defining who our client is, but the approach, a sales approach that will work well to generate the best outcomes and the best clients. And then lastly, the third thing I'll be covering is how to not enter price wars. How can we avoid those conversations around budget, around reducing prices, or, you know, your competitor is much cheaper than you. We want to avoid all of that. And there's definitely some techniques to do that, which I'll be showing at the event.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. And really, from my point of view, it's going to be about how you put that all into a plan, and a plan that's going to produce profit for the next financial year. And part of that's going to be about, how do I develop my team? Now, a lot of people don't think of building the team as part of their growth, but I'm going to suggest the best kept secret in business is finding and keeping good people. And until you understand how to do that, the pressure is always going to be back on the owner to perform. And I think this really causes people to get into this situation where I have to do everything. If it's to be, it's up to me. No one does it as well as I do. All these sorts of things. Truth of the matter is, they don't have a system to scale their business. And the issue with not having a scalable business is that I can do everything myself and I can save the cost of wages, but I'm cheating myself as well, as we were saying earlier, because I'm paying myself a wage based on profit, where I should be turning or leaning towards the profit should be what I'm aiming to grow within my business, and that should be outside of my wage. And so we'll be talking about how we do that as well. So really exciting times. I'm super excited about this event, and I know it's not far away. I can't remember the exact date, but it's coming up soon. So if you're watching this video, it's probably attached to the date of the event, and you need to register. So we'd love to see you there. We'd love to make sure that you put profit first next financial year. And if you have a plan that will do that for you, there's a pretty good chance we're going to see a better business towards the end of that year as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Guys, thanks so much for your time today. Really looking forward to the event.
Me too.
Yep.
See you all there.
Yep. See you there, everyone.
Okay, cheers.